Joining us here on the show is the great Johnny Bench. Johnny, good morning.
Pleasure. Thank you, DA. Nice to be with you this morning. I really enjoy you. I got to tell you that. You're a live wire, man. You got some more stuff and you know your business. So it's great to be with you this morning and an opportunity to talk about, let's get real about skin cancer. So I've been a part of this for a couple of years, partnering with Regeneron. And we've had some great results, great reactions. People come up to me and say, hey, I got checked. And that's what I'm here for. But it's great to be with you, Damon.
It's great to have you here on the show, and thank you for the kind words. Did you watch the All-Star game last night?
I watched about 70-80% of it. Yeah, I was back and forth. I've got a couple of boys that were doing some stuff. And I thought it was great. I thought there was a lot of in stuff with the mic'd up, doing a few things here and there. And I thought it was really exciting in so many ways. I think we sometimes don't make it a show, but this seemed to be an entertainment value.
What's Johnny Bench's take on the sped up rules, the pitch clock and such?
I love the pitch clock. I can't even tell you how much I love the pitch clock. I'm so tired of watching, the celebrations and all the, and then they get out and then they do gloves and then they do that and they have to fix the jock twice and, buy another jock strap, put it over the cup. It'll stay in place, folks. If you youngsters are out there, and especially you catchers, if you've got a cup jock, put another one over it, okay? I'm tired of you playing with your tool. Yeah, well, whatever it is. But the junk has to be out of there. Let's go. This is all about protection, DA. I mean, this is all about protection. That's what we're talking about, whether you're catching. Well, since I broke 7 cups, I'm an authority, all right? And since I've had 3 Mohs surgeries, there's another thing that I'm trying to talk to people about protection.
Well, not only do we have a more sped up, speed now because guys can't step out of the box, call timeout, pitchers wave off like 5 different pitches, but back in your day, the game was already naturally sped up. I mean, you had to get the ball back to the pitcher pretty quickly and call a sign and get that in and get the pitch in. So was that easier to play the position of catcher when you had a natural rhythm like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was like you had to hustle out on the field. Remember, Damon, I mean, when you think about it, it's all about the money. It's about advertising. It's about, running the commercials 2 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever between innings. Back there was 45 seconds. So if you took a minute and a half, that's 3 minutes per inning. 3 minutes per inning, and you take that away and you had a 3-hour game, you're down to 220, 230. So we got through it, but we just had to be on the field because the action was over. We had already sold all we were going to sell. But when you have to start putting out advertising and all the stuff and everything else, and that's what it's there for, that's what you're doing. But, can you imagine the concession guys? They're dying there. They don't have time to get back and get the money. And all of a sudden in 2 hours and 30 minutes, their people are back in the garage driving home. And you still got, I can still hear the vendor in Cincinnati and Crosby Field say, "Get moody with Hughie. I only got one more left. If you don't buy it, I'm going to drink it myself." And but what do you do with the concession stands up there? This is a lot of good stuff. We're seeing the stolen bases. Of course, they say, "Oh, that's improved and everything else," and it has because it's closer and people are running and you can't throw over. But back in our day, we had Maury Wills still in 104. We had Lou Brock. We had guys. We had, those Pittsburgh Pirates and Houston Astros. I mean, it just seemed like every time they got to first base, somebody fired a gun and they were off. They just took off. They didn't even need a sign. They just ran. So, but there's more excitement. And these guys, how big are these guys, Damon? How strong are these guys?
They're just amazing. The great Johnny Bench.
You couldn't hit it over the center field fence. There were, in Dodger Stadium, you couldn't stand at second base and hit a fungo out of center field. And now these guys are hitting the opposite ways and going, but they are amazing athletes.
What's your take on Elly Cruz, the Cincinnati Reds sensation?
Oh, I mean, you can go down the list. That's why I love baseball so much these days, is the excitement of these young guys and the talent that they've had, everything they've learned from, it's now, they understand the game so much earlier, and they understand the mechanics of it and the analytics. I guess I'm still backward on that, but this kid, I love the way he wants to play, the excitement with which he plays. And it's contagious. You know, this ball club was already starting to develop. And with some of these young players, McLean and Friedel's having a good year. And this guy, and then all of a sudden, Votto comes back from, it's Lazarus. He's coming back from wherever the hell he was. And all of a sudden, he's hitting home runs. But this is contagious. This kid, and now I'm watching, he's playing shortstop. It looked like Ron Hansen back in 1962. He's 6'6", and he's playing back at, and he's catching balls over his shoulder, and he's stealing 3 bases. And it's just, it's so exciting. The Cincinnati Reds, which went from having 7, 8, 10,000 people a game. Now, I tried to get a ticket the other day for a friend of mine and said, no, they're only single tickets and they're in left field. I mean, this is awesome. This is really good for the town.
You got to be able to call somebody and get a free ticket. You're Johnny freaking Bench.
Well, I have one source, but then I called the traveling secretary and he says, well, we only got single tickets. I said, I need 2. He said, good luck with that.
Wow. No, oh my goodness.
I'll buy them. We don't have them. So,
oh no. When the traveling secretary can't get Johnny Bench a pair of tickets, this is a problem.
Now, Rob Butcher is the greatest, but there's just sometimes he can do that, but then the people who have the tickets that are in the ticket office are saying, we don't care who they got. Who's the bench guy? What?
Oh,
he played when? I don't remember. It's like, everybody, you got to be 50 years old to actually follow what my career was and everything else. And so I guess as we get back to our message for just a second, I just want everybody to go to letsgetrealaboutSkinCancer.com. LetsgetrealaboutSkinCancer.com and pledge that you'll go there. Start doing your own self-checking, find out what it did. I found I had lower eyelids. I had to have both of those. They were basal cell carcinoma. Find it early, get your test, go see a dermatologist, and sign up as fast as you can.
What's the first step for our listeners that want to make sure that they're being safe in the sun and need to get a checkup?
First of all, they probably need no more than 30 of the sunscreen, but you have to apply it at least every 2 hours. And then just your own self-analysis. I had these little burrs on my eyes and little blisters. I just was at my eye doctor, and he said, you need to get these checked. I went to the dermatologist, had to have them removed. I had something on the side of my face. I thought it was okay. He looked at it, said it's not okay. Had something on my chest just in January. And, sometimes they'll go and they can find these spots, and maybe a blister, it may be just a mold that's changed. It may be some change in something within your body that you can do your own self-analysis. But, while your wife's there, while your partner's there, while everybody's there, just say, hey, what do you think? Can you see something on my back? Something's itchy or something, whatever. So just do your own self-examination. And I'm trying to get Regeneron. They've done such an awesome job with this. This is my second year that I've been teaming up with them. And I'm trying to get them to say, hey, let's get a truck. Let's get a truck and go around the country. And, like we see the blood bank trucks and everybody else. So, but if you catch it early, almost all of it you're able to cure and take care of. And that's the thing, just get ahead of the game with what the problem may be.
Take Johnny Bench's advice. Let's get real about skincancer.com.
Thank you.
That's the website. Let's get real about skincancer.com. You can take the pledge right there, learn more, and make sure that you're keeping yourself safe during these summer months where the sun is hot. John,
can I ask you what you thought of the game?
I liked it. I thought the jerseys were a little ugly. I like
total ugly.
I like when you guys used to wear your own jerseys. I felt like a collection of guys from different teams that had to come together for one day that made it special. Now these jerseys kind of suck some of that magic out of it.
Yeah, but you got to sell, Damon.
I know.
Come on, man. You got to merchandise.
I will say, though, boy, baseball's in a good spot with these young players. There's so many dynamic, great young players that
Isn't
just
it the truth?
They splash on the screen when you watch them.
Oh, my gosh. And then the home run derby, which I've never really enjoyed. I thought it was the deal. But now they've sped up the competition. They've done this stuff. It's out there, and, you can always tell who the agent says you need to get over there and be on TV and everything else. Somebody hand him another bottle and somebody give him a towel and do this stuff. And then can you imagine, Damon, if we had them do the home run derby without their jersey tops? Can you see the rips? Oh my gosh.
You want to see the six packs.
Oh my gosh. Smoltz had a comment about, I guess it was Soler when he was at the plate and they had a picture of the back wall. And he said he has less fat than that brick wall behind him. I mean, these guys, I walked into the locker room, and for me, we had 14 or 15% body fat. You can't pull fat. Okay. It's impossible. I think you got an oblique muscle. Anybody ever heard of my oblique? No, it was you've got a fatty tissue that came loose is all it is.
Who was the strongest player on the Reds? Was there anybody that was kind of a workout freak?
Well, we weren't allowed to work out. We weren't allowed to lift. That before Cybex and the Nautilus and all that stuff came into play. And they thought, okay, you'll get too strong across the chest. Lee May used to lift weights. Oh my gosh, he had guns, he had a chest, but it was like a shot put when he threw because they were afraid you got too strict in here and all that stuff before all of the Nautilus and the exercises and the strength coaches. I mean, they got more. We got 15 on our staff. I mean, I got 5 or 6 guys that are just lifting and in the training room and all the stuff in the weight room. Our weight room was, trying to pick up the sandwich after game. That was about all we ever got into.
You guys had to move the boxes of the Cracker Jack into the concession stands.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing because I didn't realize how strong I was and how I got that way because I was working in the peanut fields and the cotton fields in Oklahoma. So I was picking up 80-pound bags and throwing them up on the truck, and I didn't realize that how much strength it gave me. But that was the extent of my weightlifting and everything else. I did a few isometrics, but yeah, I can imagine. I mean, today, I was strong, back then, but to look at these guys and see the guy 5'8", Freddie Patek would have hit 60 home runs if we'd have gone back to Freddie. Freddie 5'4", and then they got the toy cannon, and then they had Joe Morgan, and now you're seeing Mookie Betts with 26 home runs, and you got Shohei going like it's just deal, and Trout can't stay healthy enough to do all this stuff. But when you go, it's like every team, it's amazing. I mean, we got Garcia down in Texas. We got this there, and I'm looking at RBIs. I'm a total freak on the box scores. I love stats and everything else. And then arrays. I guess I said it right. The kid from the Marlins, he's hitting 383, and everybody's trying to, say, oh, he looks like Tony Gwynn. He looks like Rod Carew, man. He could live. It's just like, I'll pick a spot to hit it. It's all of it is so exciting, and the young arms and everything else. Obviously, the Reds are tied at the halfway break here. But can their pitching hold up? It's going to be exciting no matter which one you do. You see the Rays, you see you see the Braves, which are ridiculous. They keep doing it every year. They keep coming up with guys. It's been a great year for me, D.
It has too. It has. I think just from a fan standpoint, it's been a really fun first half of the season. Baseball's in a good spot, and that's a good thing for a sport that may have worried some about the trajectory in the last couple of seasons. Johnny Bench is one of the greats of all time.
And since you mentioned spot, let me just segue into.
Let's get real about skincancer.com.
Let's get real about skin cancer. Let's go to that website, sign up. What a great spot you have. Yes, you did.
And that's Regeneron, you said, right? The company behind it.
Regeneron is the one that's promoting it and doing. I'm working with them. I've partnered up with them. And we're going to just ask you and everybody else. And don't let it go. Don't let it go. You can go in. They can use the freeze on some of the spots and everything else, maybe to get ahead of it. But the non-melanoma skin cancers are what you're really interested in. And if you can get ahead of it, almost all of it is curable.
Always a thrill to have you on, Johnny. Thank you so much.
No, you're very kind. Anytime. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Johnny Bench joining us this morning. See you, bud. Thank you so much.